The next section is going to be using Google Drive as a curriculum management tool, how to organize curriculum, how to deliver curriculum to students. And it's something that our friends at ASDOH have kind of piloted in the last year or so. And Germaine is here from ASDOH. She's going to talk a little bit about their experience, what they like about it and what they don't like about it, and just to kick it around, we'll give you people ideas about what you can do. So.
I'm all set. All right, good morning, everyone. So as Dean mentioned, we at ASDOH have been using Google Drive for a little over a year now, almost 2 years. We started in the middle of the year last year, and so far it's been a great success. I'm going to be honest with you, I think we're a little bit more behind than our students were. A lot of them were already using Google Drive to maintain their own personal records, whatever content or materials that they wanted to save and store and organize. So we saw that, students use the Google Drive and thought it'd just be a better idea, a better platform than Blackboard to deliver course delivery. So I'm just going to kind of give a brief synopsis of how we got started using the Google Drive. The Google Drive is connected to your Gmail account. So everyone who is an employee of ATSU or a student of ATSU already has access to their drive. But we decided instead of delivering curriculum through either myself or an education specialist through their email account, we thought it'd be better to produce just a unique, individualized Gmail account for the ASDOH curriculum. So that way, if I ever left ASDOH, if another employee ever left ASDOH, it's not uniquely tied to my email or to my personal information. It's a separate account just for ASDOH curriculum, and it can easily be transferred to someone else to manage and maintain. So we created the account, we named it ASDOH Curriculum. It has its own email address, asdohcurriculum@atsu.edu. We don't use the email function, so we actually set up a little out-of-office email that says that it's not managed. We don't want to manage the email of it, we just want to focus on the drive portion of it. So this is the email account. As you can see, it's populated with tons of emails that go through. So in order to access the drive, you would just click on the Google icon at the top of the screen next to your email address. So your personal email address would be here. You would just click that box and click Drive, and the drive comes up as a separate screen. Because I already have it organized, your drive is not going to look this way. But one of the best features of the Google Drive is that you can organize the folder structure. You can create your own folder structure to your liking and to how it works with you. So we've created a main mother folder, as we call, and that's the ASDOH curriculum, and that's what houses all of student content, student materials, PowerPoints, videos, any other materials that they would need for their courses. We also have created a separate component for ASDOH administration, and only ASDOH administrators that need access to that material that's housed in that folder have access. That's another perk of the Google Drive, is that you can share with anyone. You control who has access to the material and how in-depth they have access to that material. So either they can just view the materials or they can actually edit the materials. So in order to create a folder, you would just go to New, create a folder, let's name it Testing, and it automatically creates a testing folder. If you notice, within the folders that are shared with individuals, there's a little people icon that helps control or help you manage or understand what folders have been shared out with what individuals. My new folder does not have a people icon because I haven't shared it with anyone. But I would just click on it, and I would go to Share, and then I would just type in the email address of anyone that I wanted to have access to that email. So I'm going to share this with myself. And then I can actually control what they can do with this folder or with the document within that folder. They can either have editing rights, which means they can go in and if they see a typo to any document, to anything, they can go in and actually edit it, or I can give them viewing rights, where they're only able to open and view the document, but they can't control or change any content within that document. So I'm going to give Germaine Hendon editing rights to this folder, and I can notify her by email. And I'll receive an email that says, ASDOH curriculum has shared a document with you. Okay, so that's how you would create it. Our curriculum, we've gone actually back and forth as far as how best to deliver this information to students. I think one of the biggest complaints with Blackboard is that it's organized by course. So if a student, let's just say a third-year dental student, wanted to go back and view some of their metabolism material that they took in the D1 year, during their first year as a dental student, they would have to go in Blackboard, find the course from their D1 year, which was a different year, open up the course, and then find that material. It's a lot. We decided that it's best to deliver that content in one area, so that they're not going to individual platforms to find that material, as well as always up to date. Okay, so if an instructor has a PowerPoint, he wants to use the same one from last year, just change the dates, change a few slides, change the numbering, he can actually go into that PowerPoint, edit it, make it more up to date, and students already have access to that information. There is no uploading and downloading new PowerPoints. It's already there, already ready. So we've organized this by class, by graduating year, and within each folder. So the class of 2018, we've shared this with the class of 2018 students, which at the time consisted of 77 students. So the amount of people that you share this information with is unlimited. I believe it's unlimited. But either way, it's a pretty large number that you can share the information with instantaneously. So that's what we did. So once we go in here, we've also subdivided it by their year. So their first year as a dental student, I color coded because I'm into colors. So I like to color code the files to let me know that there is active live information in this folder. So then we've organized it, created separate folders for each class, entitled it by the class number. And within, let's just open up embryology. Within that, we have lectures that the instructor has provided us. We have the syllabus, we have the schedule. If there's videos, we can upload the videos. And if you've noticed, we can upload it in different formats. So we have Word documents, we have PowerPoint presentations, we have things in PDF format as well. And we also have videos that can be uploaded. One of the great benefits of the Google Drive, and it's kind of limited when it comes to Blackboard, is the size of a document. We've all had large PowerPoint files or large documents that you can't just email a person, right? It comes back undeliverable, it's too large of a size. With the Google Drive, we eliminate that problem. We just upload it to the drive, and it's just as simple as dropping and dragging the file into the Google Drive, and then right-clicking and sharing it with whoever you want to have access with that information. Google Drive is a cloud-based organization, or server, I should say, file storage type of software. So I know that's a con for a lot of people. They're a little worried or fearful of putting things or information on the cloud, but it really is secure because you control who has access to that information. If you decide that you don't want a person to have access, you just simply right-click and unshare that information with them, and they no longer have access to that information. So we've done that for all 4 of our years. And the good thing about this is, as long as this information stays on the drive, as long as it's they have permission to share or view or edit the material, it's always going to be there. It's their own filing cabinet, so to speak. We don't have to worry about students trying to organize the information. It's already there for them. Now, as we share information, we're sharing it based of our folder structure that we created. But what if you don't like the folder structure that we created? You're able to go to My Drive and organize any of the information that someone has shared with you. So students share things all the time, sign-up sheets, whatever it may be. So in incoming, this is where all the information that is shared is housed. Okay, it's just a random list of information, docs, videos, whatever it may be that's shared. If I don't like it, or if I want to have immediate access to it, I would just take it and drag it. Let's see if it's going to work. Let me reduce it a little bit. Sorry. I can take this holiday potluck and drag it to my drive. And of course it's not going to work now, but it should. Okay, that's just a preview of it, sorry. I should be able to drag it directly to my drive. See if it works. No. Normally it works. I promise you, you can drop and drag it.
You can also right click and move.
Oh, right. There's other ways to do it as well. So I can right click it. I can download it and open it, convert it to an Excel document. There we go. And I can move this to my drive, and it is now in my drive. So when I click on my drive, as you can see, the holiday potluck is there. So I can organize and create my own folder structure to my liking, the way I want it to be organized, okay, if it's different. Another great thing about this is the editing features. So if I open up a document, this is an Excel document, so I need to open it up in Excel format. Oops, I already downloaded it. If I wanted to edit and say, I've decided not to bring deviled eggs, I can change it. I think I'm going to bring in napkins. Oops. Oh, sorry. Thanks. All right. So I think I'm going to bring in, instead of deviled eggs, I'm going to bring in napkins. Okay? And I didn't spell that right, but that's okay. I can edit napkins, and anyone else who I shared this document with also can come in, open the document, and make edits to it right along with me. So you would see my cursor making changes to the document, and you would also see another person with another little, it just has a little color icon next to it, making edits to that document. So technically, you can have a meeting, a virtual meeting with a person, and we could be editing and working on the same document together. It really comes in handy. I love that feature of the Google Drive. I have children at home that are always doing written assignments for school, and I need to, edit their homework and make sure it's okay. And we could be working on it at the same time. They're making changes, I'm making changes, just, it's just so much, and it's in real time that these edits are making. Another great feature about the Google Drive are that documents don't have to be, you don't have to save. Let's close. If you create a Google document, you don't have to save that document as you would in Microsoft Word or in Excel. If you're opening or creating a new Google Doc, which is very similar to Microsoft Word, all I have to do is type in whatever I want to do. I'm going to name the document, and then I close it, and it's there with the features. I don't have to do anything. So that's why the content, that's why the material that's on the Google Drive is always up to date. We don't have to worry about saving. We don't have to worry about making sure the files that we upload in Blackboard are the most current or the most recent files. They're always there. And I think one of the greatest benefits is that it improves a student's knowledge base, so they're able to organize their information from all 4 years of dental school or medical school or whatever school they may be in, and they always have that information. So once they graduate, as long as we've shared that information and we maintain the sharing capabilities with them, they always have access to that information. Some instructors don't like their information to maintain on the drive or to be shared out to students beyond their scope of being here as a student. So we ask the students to go ahead and download whatever information that you want, organize it, structure it, save it however you want to do it, because it's not always going to be there. Okay? Yes?
Do you know if if I give you access to a document and you're a vendor and I want you to be in there for a week,
Mm-hmm.
Can I limit it to 1 week, or do I have to remember to go back in and remove you a week later?
Yes, you have to go back in and remove that person. So there is no time limit on how long a document is shared. It's shared forever until you unshare it with that person. Once you remove that file and delete that file, they no longer have access to it. Okay, or unshare it with them. So remove their email address, they no longer can see it. Now it doesn't change the time frame in which they did have access to that document. So that's something that we always have to be careful of. So if I accidentally share sensitive information, it's there. If the student was able to quickly open up that folder and see the grades, they've seen it. I can unshare it with that student, but they already have seen, the information. So that's something to be mindful of. Go ahead, Bill.
So once it's been shared, can anybody download it, or can you restrict downloading?
Yes, they can download it if you shared it with them, but there is no restriction as far as who can download it. So as long as you shared it with that person, you're giving them permission to download the material. You can control, though, if you're giving them editing rights as far as changing the material.
But once they've downloaded it, they can download it even if they don't have editing?
They can download it if they don't have editing, yes, they can download it. And download it just means you can open up the document and see it, and then store it wherever you want to store it or save it.
But at that point, they would be able to change it, right?
Yes, but it wouldn't be changed on the main drive. So it would just be changed in their personal records. No one else would see the changes that they make. Does anyone have it? Yes.
Who maintains do you back it up physically on a non-cloud?
No. When we first started using the Google Drive, because it was something new for us, we still duplicated everything on the ASDOH G Drive, on ATSU's G Drive. But once administration was a little bit more comfortable with it, we don't back it up. It's cloud storage, so it's automatically backed up. There really is no need. We're pretty confident that nothing is going to happen, to the material. It's there, it's internet based. So as long as you have internet contact, then you always have access to that material. Another good thing about the Google Drive is that it's not limited to logging in to ASDOH servers. Anywhere where you have Gmail access, you can access it on your phone. I can access the drive on my phone. Any computer at home, you can access it. You don't have to worry about logging into Blackboard, or if Blackboard is down, you don't have access to that information. It's always there, it's always available, and it's always the most up-to-date content.
So Hal, on the backup issue, that's kind of been a concern of ours from an IT standpoint, is that we're delegating the backup essentially to Google.
Right.
So we're kind of trusting them to back all of that content up. The real concern there is, can we get that data back out if we need to? And so there are Google Drive tools that you can, en masse, pull that data back out if we had to. In addition, Google is changing some of their tool sets. So if we think of email, our email has the same issue where it's on Google servers. But they also have a tool called Ostini that allows us to back up and retain all of the university's email into a different system where we have access to it. In the past, it's only been email, but they're now expanding that service into all of the Google Drive stuff. So we'll also be able to get to the Google Drive stuff.
Thank you for answering that.
Can you share a document on ATSU's Drive with a non-ATSU?
Yes, you can. It'll give you a little signal when you type in their email that this is a non-ATSU person, but you still can email it out to as many people as you'd like. And it's great to be able to just drop and drag a file and it's instantly there to 76 students or to 123 people that need to have access to that file. It's easier to make edits. I think one of the difficult parts is getting faculty to start utilizing Google Documents more. Some of them still are traditionally using Microsoft Word. So Microsoft Word, if they email me a Microsoft Word file, I can still drop it and drag it to the Google Drive, but it's in Microsoft Word format. So when I go to open it, similar to the holiday potluck, it's in Excel. It's not a Google spreadsheet, which is a little bit different. So I first have to download it as an Excel, make the changes, and then I still have to save it the old-fashioned way, go to File, Save As, save it to somewhere on my desktop, then drop it and drag it. Whereas if I'm creating a Google spreadsheet, I don't have to worry about saving anything. It's automatically there. I can just create a new Google sheet, make whatever adjustments I want to make, and it's already there. A good example of this is our calendar system. Let me just open it up for you. We have a detailed rainbow calendar system that shows the curriculum outline for our students, for each class, for each year, throughout the entire academic year. And we've recently moved that so that it is no longer an Excel format, but that it's in as a Google spreadsheet. So now I can go in, create, make changes. If I want to move neuroscience to a different week, I can make all of those changes and just close out the document. And everyone who I've shared this information with already has it. I don't have to, send it as attachment and say, hey, I've updated the calendar. The moment they open the calendar on their Google Drive, it's automatically there. It's automatically updated. You never have to worry about it. So it kind of eliminates the need to send multiple attachments, to retract emails and say, hey, forget that, sorry, we've updated, here's a new version of it. The new version is automatically there. They always have access to this. Anybody have any other questions? Yes.
What about enrolling, you mass enroll the 76 students, I'm assuming, in your...
There's already an email distribution group, so we already have class of 2017. IT does that for us, creates a group list of our students. So when we go to share it with the class, we're literally sharing it with their email address. So it'll just be ASDOH class of 2017.
And they all have the viewing only.
Yes, we make it viewing. We don't want them to edit the documents.
For your faculty.
Faculty also has viewing rights as well, unless they want editing rights. So when a faculty member sends us over a PowerPoint, usually it's still through email, although some of them do share directly to the drive, they're the owners of that information. But we ask that ASDOH curriculum be the owners of that information. And that gives us a little bit more play rights as far as making edits, changing things, moving things off the drive if we don't want it to be on the drive. So we need to have that control of what information is on the drive, when it's removed, and if it's removed. So we ask that if they share it to the drive, we just ask that they change the owner so that now ASDOH curriculum can function and manipulate the PowerPoints or lectures or whatever it may be. It's still their material. We're just asking that we can, be able to manipulate it a little bit more. If not, then we're limited into what we can do, and we can only view the document, upload, download it, and that's it. Go ahead.
Do you like the faculty, or have they transitioned to using Google Slides instead of PowerPoint?
No, and I think there's some limitations when it comes to using Google Slides. It's a very, very simple format, so it doesn't have all the advanced features that Microsoft, PowerPoints would have. So that is one limitation of Google Docs. But for the most part, there are add-ons that you can add on. So if you want a specific feature that's not already a stable feature within it, you can add it on. So let's just say in Microsoft PowerPoint, you're able to add animation. And maybe you're not able to do that in a Google presentation, but there are add-on features so that you can have the capability of providing or inputting animation features. I think a lot of them are just stuck in Microsoft Word. We all are. We're used to using it for years on end, and to now switch to something new, it's scary. And it takes a little bit to kind of see the differences between Word and Google Documents and figure out where things are, and it's just much easier to keep it in Word or PowerPoint format. When you're uploading those type of documents to the drive, you do have the option of changing it to make it a Google document. You may lose a lot of the formatting or some of the features that are in the Microsoft Word document that you may have, but you are able to do that. So at the current time, we actually keep our PowerPoints in PDF format for some students who prefer to have PDF format, and we also leave them in PowerPoint format. Just makes it easier. Depending if they're using an iPad, some of the programs it's easier to open up a PDF document than it is to open up a PowerPoint, especially if it has heavy animation and different things, and it makes it cumbersome and it doesn't show the way it should display. You lose a lot of the features, things get distorted, so we provide both formats. Anyone else?
I have a question. Germaine, how do you alert the students that there's new material?
What, in the beginning, when we first created the drive, when I shared the folder with this class, I can just show you. These are with other administrators as well who have access to it. When we originally share it, we invite them, and then we have, if I share it with myself, there's a way that you can add a message and notify individuals. So once I share it, I can add a message and say, here is the folder, you need it. So they'll receive an email that says something has been shared with them, and whatever information you want to add to it, whatever little notes, you can always add that. It's pretty cool. Now that we've done the initial sharing of the main mother folder, we just go ahead and drop and drag it into each individual course as it becomes available, and they just know to go look on the Google Drive and find their information. But if we wanted to, we could notify them every single time we add information. Yes.
Does your department have a policy of all materials have to be in the folder available for students 12 hours before the class, 24 hours before the class?
We do. Yes, some stick to it, some faculty members don't stick to it. So yes, we like to have the syllabus available at least 2 weeks before the start of the course, lecture materials at least 3 days before the start of the course. Some we are able to get up much sooner than that, and others it's the day of the start of the course. It depends on the instructor and how organized they are and how easily they're able to share with us the information.
With some of the difficulty ASDOH has had with their adjunct faculty not wanting to share anything like being recorded, etc., have any of them voiced a concern over Google and the disclaimers, or don't they know about it, that Google owns everything that you stick in there?
Well,
That's not true though, Jim.
Right. Google doesn't own everything. They're still the owners of their material. And yes, we did notify visiting lecturers that the material would be shared via the Google Drive. We assured them that it's really organized and structured as far as who has access to that information. The public does not have access to that information unless we share it with the public. Okay?
You're more concerned though about the ownership of it, right?
Copyright.
The copyright issues.
Yeah, but the way the Google disclaimer is they're allowed to scan that and use the material, the images, internationally for anything they want forever.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
I'll show you the language. Or if you know of other language, then please show me, but I do not believe that to be true.
Honestly,
I've looked into that too, because someone's asked about that before.
yeah.
I don't know. We'd have to take a look at that again. Maybe that was an old policy or something.
I presented that at a national conference. And, I mean, I don't know what the current one is, but that's been 2 years ago.
2 years? Okay.
And because they're actually doing that for marketing. That's one of the things that they do is they scan all your emails. They don't care that you're sending stuff to whoever, but they're looking for keywords and for doing their direct marketing for their ads and stuff.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is.
But then that would be connected with our ATSU email, correct? Wouldn't it? That means they have access to that to some degree as well.
And I think, they're not going and reading your individual email, but they have the rights to, since you're using their service for free,
Right.
to go in and scan it.
It's kind of the same thing with YouTube though as well.
Right.
You know, so you're saying like all those videos on YouTube, they're not, Google doesn't have the right to like own those. They're just delivering
Yeah, but
it.
if you delete it, it's still there and they can still use it anywhere they want to. It's scary if you keep reading and clicking down through all the layers, and it gets like, go hide in a cave somewhere scary.
Yeah. Well, I understand your concern. I don't think it's too much different than.
I mean, you're university or college has had specific issues with adjunct faculty not wanting to share stuff, but none of them have voiced an issue with that.
Yes, and those that are very, very protective of their material usually only provide it in a certain format. So I think they're mainly worried about us taking that information, manipulating it, and changing it, and using it without their permission. So for those instructors, they only provide information through PDF format so that we cannot change it and manipulate it. But it really is no different than uploading it to Blackboard. I mean, once students have access to a document in Blackboard, they can download it, save it, and do what they want with it. We have no control how they, keep that information or use that information. The only difference here is that this is permanent. This is archived information, so we'll continue to build the drive throughout the years so that we can always go back to the class of 2012 or 13 and see what material we presented for every single class throughout their tenure here at ATSU. Whereas Blackboard is a little bit more difficult to do that. You'd have to log in, find the course, and I believe you don't have long-term access to Blackboard once the course is over. Can anyone speak for that? They can? They do. So a course that they had last year, they can still access on Blackboard? Okay.
It's up to the instructor.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, that's the new Blackboard. The web, we had a problem before because WebCT was phased out. That was a different thing. And we were only going to have it available for 4 years after, something like that. But the new Blackboard, yeah, it should go back a while, right? Yeah.
Okay.
One last question here. Go ahead.
Do you keep your grades?
Yes, we do. Which was a concern in the beginning for administration, but I think it's just the fear of it. Again, it has to do with control, who you share that information with. So our grades are kept in a separate folder, as though curriculum is just for students. It really is just lectures, syllabus, other handouts and things needed for the course. As though administration, which really has maybe 5 individuals that have access to that folder, does contain more sensitive information such as grades, faculty evaluation results, and things of that nature. And we have not had any problems as far as the wrong person getting access to that, which is why we limit who controls ASDOH curriculum to 2 people, myself and our education specialist.
Very good. Well, thanks, Germaine.
Thank you.